Good afternoon, welcome to my channel. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon and Rising Scorpio, and cross watches too, if you're lurking around. It is general in nature, so if you've come here specifically looking for a love reading and it ends up being general life or career or just a sticky situation that you happen to find yourself in, I'm sorry. But I can only give you the messages that the cards give me. So if you would like a personal reading, I can be reached on the email address which should be in the description box below, scorch.earth.tarot@gmail.com. I'm building a website at the moment, but it's not ready yet. Once it's live, you'll be able to book directly through there, but for the time being, email is it. If the message doesn't fit, don't try and make it fit. It's clearly not for you. There are tons of really good readers on YouTube. Go and find one that's picking up your energy. That said, if it's not resonating with your sun sign, check out your moon and your rising sign, because sometimes they can resonate more strongly at different points in our lives. So yeah, sun sign is only a very small part of your natal chart, and people don't always resonate with that. Yeah, so rather than this is for the month of July, but rather than doing a kind of week by week or whatever thing like that, because my timing isn't that specific, I'm just going to take a look at a situation that you will be dealing with in July and hopefully give you a little bit of advice on how to deal with it. Yeah, so let's get started. We have for Scorpio, July. Well, first card out is Justice. This is a card of Libra. You may be dealing with a Libra, you may not. It's a pretty card. Lady of the Fountain. I'm going to take that. There's like 50 cards going out there. I'm going to take those. They're all wands cards, just for reference. We have the Scorpio. Scorpio. Okay. So, despite my caveats at the beginning of the reading, I think that this is a relationship reading of some sort. So we have Justice, we have the Four of Cups, and we have the Lovers. And the shadow card on the bottom of the deck is the Nine of Pentacles. Oh my god. Let's get such an itchy nose. I'm reading tarot cards. Okay, so you've got here, the first thing that I see is the three cards that I've pulled. The two either side are Major Arcana, and the one in the middle is the Four of Cups. You see that there. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers for these cards, but what I see straight off the bat is that the Four of Cups, which is water element anyway, so it's quite possibly is your energy. I feel like this is specifically you and your feelings in the month of July. And what I'm seeing here is that you're being offered something, or you have been offered something, and you're choosing not to look at it. She's looking mournfully at her feet, I guess. And there's three cups there that she has. She doesn't want those. She wants the one that's hanging in the tree, but she hasn't even looked up, so she doesn't know it's there. So the Justice card is about balance, it's about fairness, it's also a karmic card. So being that we have quite a bit of karma going on in here, Actually, I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to say any more until I've pulled some clarifiers, because actually I'm seeing a couple of different ways that this could go. So let's get some clarification for justice. Where's the justice card here? We've got the Three of Pentacles. Justice, please. With the Three of Pentacles and with the Page of Swords. And at the bottom we've got the Ten of Wands. Alright, Scorps. I'll get some clarifiers for the Four of Cups as well. So we have the Queen of Pentacles. And the Knight of Wands. And then for your final main card, which is the Lovers. Some clarification for the Lovers. The Seven of Swords. Okay, one more. One more card for the Lovers. I have one more clarification card for the Lovers, please. Scorpio. Two came up. So this is quite intense energy. Card at the bottom of the deck here is Ten of Pentacles. So there's a story unravelling here that I can see, and I think it's quite specific. So again, if this doesn't resonate with you, apologies, but it's going to resonate with someone because it's quite specific. So the first card we had out was Justice. There. And she's clarified by the Three of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. And justice is about equality and fairness and balance and natural law and justice and things being correct. And the Three of Pentacles speaks about working together with someone else to create something tangible. If the twos are internal, then the threes are the point at which things become manifest in the physical realm, and particularly with the Pentacle suit, that's, you know, that's obvious. But the second clarifier for that card was the Page of Swords. And for you here, I feel like you've only half an eye on what it is that you're building at the moment. I feel like you're in a relationship, and I feel like on the face of it, everything looks like it's going very, very well. But if you see these two clarifiers here, so these are the two people who are building something tangible in the material world. You've gone from the 2 to the 3, and 3 is creating. The page comes after, and he's looking at this, but his body's turned the other way. His sword's up the other way. It's like human body language. If you look at some people and one of them is not enjoying the conversation that they're having with someone, and in fact they would rather be elsewhere, anywhere, than stood talking to the person that they are currently look at the direction of their feet, because the body is giving them away. The feet will be pointing in a different direction. The feet will be pointing where they actually want to go. It's absolutely fascinating, but it's true. His feet are off that way. His body is off that way. He's looking there, but he doesn't want to be there. It makes me feel like whatever situation you currently have going on, and I get very much the impression that this is a relationship, a romantic relationship. Despite exterior appearances, your heart's not in it. You're looking somewhere else. You may not even realise at the moment that that's what you're doing, but it is what you're doing. Your feet are giving you away. And the next card is the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is I mean, it can be ingratitude, but I don't feel like it is at this point. It feels like a pining. I think that's the word I'm going to use. It's pining for something that feels unreachable. And the clarifiers that we pulled for this are the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. So you may be dealing with an earth sign female, but I mean, like, don't get hung up on that, because it's not about gender, and it's not about necessarily about element. It's about the energetic characteristics of those. So the Queen of Pentacles is a passive receptive energy, but it's very much rooted in the material. It's earth, so it's a slow moving energy, not necessarily particularly aspirational outside of their own little small box. And then there's the Knight of Wands here, which I always thought meant Sagittarius, but literally this morning I found out that there was a Scorpio association with this, which I had not realised. So there you are in a sort of fiery form. And I have to add, like, the only Cups card on the table at the moment is the Four of Cups. It's the one not wanting what you've got. And the Knight of Wands is about adventuring off and discovering new things. I mean, the whole point of the Knights is that they go off and do the king's bidding. You know, they go and do the action. This is active, super active, and it couldn't be more different from the energy in this card here. I feel like this card represents the person that you are with at the moment. Man, woman, doesn't matter. It's the energies that we're talking about. So they're not terribly compatible, truly. I think that you're feeling stifled. Not only are your feet giving you away, like somewhere in your head you want to jump on your horse and go charging off somewhere. But currently you're stuck in a Three of Pentacles situation with your slow moving earth sign, whoever she is, he is, whoever is, you know, that energy there, and it's making you feel a little bit trapped. And the final card that you've got here in the main spread is the Lovers. Now, I don't want to jump to conclusions about the Lovers being about love and about two people getting together, because that actually isn't really the underlying message of this card. The underlying message of the card is choice and union, potential union. I think in the original, really old-time tarot cards, the Lovers was actually depicted with a man, one man and two women, and I think it was called The Choice. And essentially the man was, the picture on the card depicted a man needing to make a choice between two women. And that's coming very strongly to mind as I'm looking at this card, rather than feeling like it's just a card of the obvious. So it's a choice. And given that there's quite a bit of earth here already, and then we have the card of not really wanting what you have, I feel like you're feeling stuck, and you're feeling pulled to make a choice, and this is borne out by the clarifiers that I've pulled here. One of which is the Tower, which is Scorpio energy. But we have the Seven of Swords, we have the Tower, we have the Four of Wands. There. See? And when we combine that with the Lovers here, which is talking about making a choice about something, it may not necessarily be between two women, it may be between being in a situation and not being in a situation, or throwing yourself entirely into your situation and holding yourself a little bit back. And let's not forget, you're Scorpio, you run deep, so you do tend to keep quite a lot of yourself back from your partners anyway. That choice is there. The Seven of Swords, people call it the Thief card, but in this deck it doesn't scream deceptive behaviour to me. It's got a kind of deceptive overtone, but it's not the fundamental meaning of the card. For me, it's about taking a risk. See that dude there, like, he's grabbing some swords and he's doing one. And we don't know why. We don't know why he needs those swords, why he's got to steal them from that camp, why he's got to run away and quiet. We don't know. And it may be that he's being a cunt about something, I don't know. But it may equally be that he's taking them for a noble reason. He might be taking them to stop them being, you know, used badly against someone else. But it doesn't matter. The point is, it feels more like it's about taking a risk. And we have the Tower and the Four of Wands. And this together says to me that the choice that you need to make here is whether you are prepared to take a risk and destroy what you have, what it is that you're currently building in the three there. You know, there's architecture there, there's building there. Are you prepared to tear down what has not been built correctly in order to achieve the Four of Wands? The Four of Wands is the Fours of stability, right? There are a number of stability and solidity and things, but it's a twin flame card as well. Like, do you have a soulmate knocking around that you have turned your back on to build something with someone else? Because what I'm starting to feel is that you've realised that what you are currently enmeshed in here is not right for you. What you're building, it looks pretty sound, but your contribution to it is only half there. You're only putting the showy bit in. The underlying energy of you, Scorpio, who does run deep and does hold things back from their partners and the world at large, like everyone. I mean, who really knows what Scorpio is thinking at any point? I mean, not me. But your feet are giving you away. You know, the feet are your foundation of you. You know, you as a person, how are your feet? They're going the wrong way. You're building something here, and your foundation is pointing the wrong way. And so, in July, you are looking to make a choice as to whether you are prepared to take that risk, pull down what hasn't been built on its proper foundations, and achieve the stability that actually somewhere you seem to be hankering for. The situation that you're in isn't suiting you, Scorpio. Like, the only Cups card on the fucking board is the Four of Cups. Like, you don't want it. You actually don't want it. If anything, I would go as far as to say you seem bored. You seem bored in this situation, that you're contemplating what you want is your fire back. fiery Scorpio card, who knew? You know, but Scorpio card too. And if Scorpios are anything, I mean, you're either card, you know, with the astrological association is death. Like Scorpios are the masters of transformation, pure transformation, turning themselves into something new. Like you're the masters of it. And whatever situation that you're in now is boring the shit out of you. Like you just don't want it. So at the moment it feels like it would be a massive risk to pull everything down. But honestly, once you've done it, like you'll realise it was never a massive risk. There's a certain inevitability about the spread here, to the point where, like, I feel even if in July you mull all of this over and you decide that it's not worth the risk at the moment to jeopardise what it is that you have, it'll happen at some point. Maybe August, maybe October, maybe it won't happen till next year, but it will happen because the tower is here. And if you don't bring the tower, the universe is bringing the tower, and there's shit all you can do about it. It's going to make that decision for you. And in terms of your own personal growth, if you can pull that in for yourself, take ownership of that feeling that you have and act on it, knowing that it's for your highest good, growth is exponential. It makes you active rather than reactive, and that puts you in a position of power. Scorpios, yeah, being in power quietly. I just feel like Scorpios the kingmakers rather than the kings. They like to plot and scheme at the back in the darkness. Then let somebody else do the grunt work and the performing. Like, you know, fucking. Sorry, Scorpio, my phone decided to tell me that it was time to hydrate. Stop my video. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull a couple of cards for advice. By the way, I'm using the Llewellyn deck. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I am. So, yeah. Let's have 2 cards of advice for Scorpio. Want it to come out? Okie doke. One more. Alright, so the 2 cards of advice that you've got are the Horned One and the Universe. Let's see. So the Horned One is 15, and that's it's kind of like a Welsh mythology version of the devil, but it's kind of like a non-Christianity side. It's more of a pagan depiction of the devil pre-Christianity, so it doesn't have the same sort of hell associations that you get with standard devils in decks. And then the Universe, which is just a really lush picture. Actually, I'll just show you that again. Look at that. That's the World card. Your advice, Scorpio. Sorry, happened again. I've turned off my data now, so it shouldn't happen again. So, your advice, Scorpio, is to realise the things that you are currently bound to, you are there by choice. Right? Don't allow the situation that you find yourself in at the moment to become a big, huge, mongly demon thing with, you know, huge horns and stuff, because actually you are the one who is in control. Okay. And and whether this card refers to this situation particularly, or the fear that you experience at the thought of actually having to end the situation, or whether it's coping mechanisms that you have started adopting in order to function. And you know, this can be a thing with Scorpios. It's a thing to remember. So drink, drugs, you know, and sex, like all fun stuff, basically, you know. But that for some reason Scorpios have the ability to do to an extreme. Not just Scorpio, but I mean, you're good at it. It's hedonism. It's often a coping mechanism for things that you don't feel in control of in the rest of your existence. Like, you can choose to get out of this. Don't let it become something bigger in your head than it is. It's just life. And, you know, it's another fucking opportunity for growth. Like, life's full of them. Take them, use them, learn the lessons from them that, you know, you can, and then move on. Don't allow yourself to be shackled to something that is not for your highest good. And that's borne out again by the universe card, the world card. You know, which also has, in fact, in the standard right away, it has Scorpio on it and the fixed signs, all 4 of the fixed signs, of which you are one. The advice is to close out the cycle, finish the thing that is holding you down, holding you back, that just doesn't feel right inside there. Like, it's not you just being fussy, it's genuinely not right. That's the message that I'm getting from the cards here. And this is going to preoccupy you to some extent during the month of April. Like, and if this resonates, like, I mean, by all means, let me know. You know, the whole point of me doing these videos is to reach out to people that I think I might be able to help. And so, like, legit, I want to hear your experiences. Close out the cycle and tackle whatever little demons are knocking around in there that are giving you grief at the moment. Because the overriding theme in the whole reading is fear. You got into a situation. The situation isn't what you thought it would be. Now you don't know how to get out of the situation. And you're afraid. When really, like, getting out of the situation is super easy. You just do it. Like, it'll have consequences, but you can deal with those consequences. This is an opportunity for growth. So, I think that's everything in there. Like I said, if it resonates, awesome. Let me know. Come follow me on Instagram. I'm over there. I'll put a link in the description box. Otherwise, yeah, I hope this helped. Catch you later, Scorpio.